Hope you all enjoy watching. Let's get started. Our series today begins with a rich businessman named He Chaoyan, CEO of Heshi Group. He Chaoyan is at a press conference talking about the latest achievements of his companies and hotels. A journalist interrupts him and tells him that there are rumors that he got married in secret and that he has a son and is hiding him from the public. He Chaoyan asks her to speak politely while she talks to him. He tells her that he is not married in secret and that he does have a son and is not hiding him from the public. We get to know a psychiatrist named Qin Yi Yue, and she specializes in treating children and is very diligent in her work. He Chao, his young son, Xiao Bao. He does a mess in his father's office and no one can control him at all. Xiao Bao suffers from a strange mental illness that prevents him from speaking. That's why his father printed cards for him with sentences. A lot so he can express his feelings through them. When He Chao arrives at his office and they are surprised that the office is a mess. So his son raises the card to him that says he wants to spend the day with him. He Chao yells at him and he understands that he has work and doesn't have time left. Xiao Bao got angry and threw the card on the ground, so He Chao asked his assistant to call his son's psychiatrist for help. The assistant told him that the doctor had resigned because of Xiao Bao. He Chao ordered the assistant to look for another psychiatrist because he could no longer tolerate his son's annoying behavior. After that, He Chao's secretary told him that he had a meeting with the employees and had to go live before the award ceremony. So He Chao had to take his son with him to the meeting. Qin Yi, the psychiatrist, was with her friend Yang Ro Wei, and her friend told her that her colleague Zhou at work will win the Best Scientific Research Award. At that moment, Qin Yi loses her temper because she wrote 90% of the research, and she was very annoyed that he stole her effort, and he attributed it to himself. So she decides to go to the hotel to take revenge on him. He Chao opens Alive and does not notice that his son left him and walked away. So he quickly sends his assistants to look for him, and Xiao Bao goes down to the hotel and walks alone. And by chance, he sees his father's banner, so he pulls it with him. All the employees gather around him to take the banner from him, so Xiao Bao loses his temper. He screams in their faces and runs away from them, and by mistake, he is about to collide. Qin Yi picks him up before he collides and asks if he is okay, but Xiao Bao screams. Qin Yi hugs him and calms him down. When he calms down, she asks him if he needs help or not. So Xiao Bao shows her the cards he has and she knows his name, Xiao Bao, and then she asks him to tell her why he made a mess in the hotel. So he goes out her a card written on it, Dad. So she asked him if he was sad about his father. He moved his head, meaning that he was really upset. Qin Yi gave him a toy and a silk handkerchief and asked him to keep them. And then He Chao's assistant arrived to take Xiao Bao. Qin Yi said the assistant to tell his boss to take more care of his son and left him to look for Zhou. And by chance, she saw He Chao from behind. She thought it was Zhou. She attacked him and hit him, told him that she did not forgive him because he stole her scientific research. When He Chao turned to her, she apologized to him for what she did, then left. But the problem was that there was a phone in the room, and this phone was open live and filmed everything that happened. But the video was filmed at a certain angle so that it appeared that they were both in relationship. And then Qin Yi meets Zhou by chance. She looks at him with contempt and leaves him. During the award ceremony, He Chao is the one who will present the award for the best scientific research. But when he remembers Qin Yi's words when she told him that her scientific research was stolen, he changes his mind and tells everyone present that no one will get the award and leaves the party and walks away. At night, He Chao returns to his home and sees the CV of the psychologist, his son's new CV. He finds Qin Yi's CV among them and throws it in the trash. He Chao yells at his son because he is still up late and takes his tablet from him and forces him to sleep. While He Chao is sleeping, he has nightmares about an accident that happened to him a long time ago. He Chao wakes up, makes his coffee, and goes to sit at his desk at home to follow up on work news. Then his friend comes and sits with him, shows him the viral video of him and Qin Yi. He Chao is surprised by the video and tells him that this is a crazy girl and that there is nothing between them at all. And at the same time, Qin Yi found out the viral video of her and He Chao. The title of the video is He Chao in a Love with Her. In the morning, He Chao goes to his son to wake him up from sleep, but he refuses to wake up and notices that there is a strange-looking handkerchief next to him. So he takes the handkerchief and puts it in the laundry to wash it. When Xiao Bao wakes up, he does not find the handkerchief, and he keeps screaming. His father tries to calm him down and asks what happened. His son points to the handkerchief in the laundry basket. He Chao gives him the handkerchief, and when he smells Xiao Bao the handkerchief, he finds Qin Yi's scent on it. After he washes himself, he keeps screaming and runs to his room. He Chao takes his son to a psychiatric hospital to attend a psychiatric treatment session with a new doctor. By chancing, Qin Yi works in the same hospital. Suddenly, she hears a scream coming from the room in front of her. When she enters, she finds it is Xiaobao. They are both happy that they have seen each other again. Qinyi notices that he doesn't like to play with toys. She tells him that she's going to take him to a nicer place than here and asks him to hold her hand. At first, it's hard for Xiaobao, but in the end, he holds her hand. This has never happened before because he doesn't like to touch strange people. So she takes him to the children's playroom. There is a little girl named Jojo. Jojo came to Xiaobao and tells him that she wants to play with him, but he refuses and turns his face the other way until Qinyi arrives there. As soon as Jojo sees her, she hugs her immediately. It's very clear that all the children in the hospital love Qinyi. Then, Qinyi asks Jojo to hide so that they can play hide and seek. Qinyi sits with Xiaobao and gives him a lollipop, tells him that she bought one like it for herself so that he always remembers her when they are apart. At this moment, He Chao arrives at them, and when he sees her, he pushes his son away from her and asks her never to get close to his son again because he is afraid that she will hit his son, like she hit him. He takes his son and leaves, and when he returns home, he finds Xiaobao very depressed because he wants Dr. Qinyi to treat him. So he goes out. He agrees, and then He Chao asks his assistant to tell him everything about Qinyi. He knows that her family were simple people, not rich, and she graduated from medical school with honors. After that, He Chao goes to her office and asks her to treat his son, tells her that he will pay her any money she wants, but Qinyin refuses and asks him to go out of her office. He Chao tells his friend what happened, so his friend tells him that they need a plan to convince her to treat his son and asks him to send her many gifts at the office. He Chao actually does this, but Qinyi is not affected by this at all, and she also refuses to let her help and treat his son because he humiliates her, so he turns to the second plan and keeps walking. Behind her in his car, Qinyi gets angry at his behavior, so she enters a side street on her motorcycle. There, she finds a group of harassers who are harassing a girl. She hits them. Suddenly, He Chao enters the middle of the fight and keeps hitting the harassers until they get scared and leave, but he got hurt in the middle of the fight. So she tries to treat his wound. He Chao tells her that he really needs her to help his son because he is going through a big psychological crisis. So she tells him that she will think about his offer, and she will respond to him. The next day, He Chao makes a very beautiful cake for Qinyi and takes his son, and they go to the hospital. When Qinyi sees the cake, she is very happy and agrees to continue treatment with his son. So Qinyi sits and talks to Xiaobao about his birthday. But as soon as Xiaobao hears about his birthday, he kept crying. His father hugs him and tried to calm him. Then Qinyi takes He Chao on the side and asks what happened. He tells her that 5 years ago, Xiaobao had an accident on his birthday. And since then, Xiaobao has lost his ability to speak and has started to hate his birthday. At night, we see He Chao arriving Qinyi in his car and wearing a bracelet on her hand. She asked what bracelet does this have. He tells her that this is a bracelet for couples. And the idea is that anyone who gets tired will get an alert for the second person wearing the bracelet. There is also a tracking device in the bracelet. She smiles. She asked also who is wearing the second bracelet. He replied to her that no one is wearing it, but in fact, he is the one wearing the second bracelet. The next day, Qinyi gets very tired and her temperature rises while she is taking a shower, but because of the exhaustion, she falls asleep in the bathtub. Meanwhile, He Chao comes to him a warning on the bracelet that Qinyi her condition is critical, so he quickly moves to her house. And as soon as he enters the house, he opens the door of the bathroom. He finds her as standing naked, and she does not understand what is happening, so he turns his face quickly. He understands here that the temperature of the bathroom was high because of the hot water in the bathtub, and that is why he received a warning on the bracelet that she is wearing, give warning. He tells her, get dressed, and closes the door of the bathroom. Qinyi tries to tell him open the door for her because it opens from the outside only, but she can't because she is tired, so she breaks the door and goes outside. As soon as she gets close to He Chao, she faints. He Chao quickly puts her in her bed and tests her temperature. He finds it high, so he says between himself that his son, the little one, knows how to take care of himself more than her, and he closes to cover her. Suddenly, Qinyi holds him and tries to kiss him, so He Chao quickly moves away from her and understands that she is hallucinating because of her high temperature. The next day, Qinyi wakes up from sleep and finds Xiaobao sleeping beside her. He Chao tells her that they sit all night beside her to treat her. She goes out to the living room and finds He Chao preparing breakfast for her and cleaning the whole house. She is very surprised by the way the house looks and asks what he did exactly. He tells her that he can't sit in a dirty place, and then they sit down to have breakfast together. She asks He Chao what happened yesterday because she doesn't remember anything, so that he doesn't want to tell her as not to embarrass her. And at that time, Qinyin thinks that he saw her naked in the bathroom, and she also remembers that she tried to kiss him. So she feels embarrassed very much and tries to change the subject, asks who changed her clothes yesterday. He says that he is the one who changed them for her. She asks him what exactly did he see. He tells her that her highest is about 162 centimeters, and that she has a lot of fat in her belly and legs, and that her weight is 3 kilograms more than the weight she wrote on her CV. Qinyin gets angry and tells him that she will kill him if he talk her weight again. At this moment, Xiaobao wakes up and goes to Qinyin. Qinyi apologizes to him for not bringing him a gift in his birthday and tells him to ask for any gift, she will bring it to him. Xiaobao writes on the board. He wants her to be his mother, but Qinyi promises him that if he says the word mama, she will be his mother. But Xiaobao refuses to talk. So He Chao tells her that there is unless in what she does, because he will not talk. Then, Qinyi asks He Chao to drop her off because she is late for work. But He Chao refuses because she is still sick and needs to rest. But Qinyin assures him that she is very well. The day after, He Chao and Xiaobao are getting ready to go out with Qin. Yi Xiaobao remembers when he was sitting with Wengu, his father's friend, and told him that he wants Qinyin to be his mother. So Wen likes the idea and tells him that the first thing they need to do is to get Yi Chao and Qinyi together closer so that their relationship develops, and asks him when he goes out with them so that he gives them their own space and doesn't stay next to them all the time so that they can talk together at their ease. While they're out, Xiaobao carried out the instructions of Wen and let them enter the House of Horror alone. But it wasn't romantic at all because Qinyi didn't stop screaming all the game. After they finish, they get in the car to go to the park. Halfway there, Hao Bao sends a message to Wen and tells him that the plan didn't succeed. Then the three of them get out of the car and walk together. Suddenly, they find Xiao Bao has disappeared from beside them. So they go looking for him everywhere until Wen sends a picture to reassure He Chao that his son is with him. At that moment, Qinyin sees Xiao Bao's hat in the lake, so she thinks he is drowning. She quickly goes into the water to save him. But He Chao goes down after her, pulls her, and makes sure she is okay. Then they go back to get in their car, but they don't find it. It's not there and found boxes in which there are camping tools. So He Chao immediately understands that Wen is the one who did this. At night, both camping together, and there is only one plate noodles that they both have eaten together. And as soon as He Chao looks into her eyes, he feels his heartbeats increase, feel tension, and tried not to look at her eyes. He asks her while they eat that she is stupid because she jumped in the lake, and it was possible to catch a second cold. Qin tells him that she is a pediatrician, meaning she is responsible for the lives of all children. And that is in addition to Xiao Bao trusts her very much, and she felt guilty when she remembered that he left from her. She tells him that what the children say is true, meaning when Xiao Bao told her that he wants her be his mother, the words came from within him, and that's why Qin doesn't want to let him down, and admits to Chao that its nature of her job is difficult because people think that child psychologists play with children. That's it. But the matter is much more difficult than that. Chao asked her if she wants really be mother to his son, so she tells him that she was joking, because she is definitely Xiao Bao has mother and still here. Chao feels sad when he hears his wife's name. Then they both go to sleep in the tent. The next day, Chao goes to work at the hospital and by chance meets Zhou, her ex. She doesn't care about him and continues walking, but he stops her. He asks about her condition because they haven't talked for a long time. So she tells him that she will be fine as long as he is away from her. At that time, Zhou's fiancé comes. She gets upset and tells her that her father is the manager of the hospital, and her fiancé is promoted to the position of senior physician. She asks her to attend his party today, where Zhou will be promoted. After work, she goes with her friend, buys a very beautiful dress, and when she arrives, the party is all amazed by her beauty. After that, Zhou is promoted, and he says his word to everyone present. At that moment, his fiancé grabs the microphone and says to everyone about the viral video of Qin and Chao together. And at the same moment, Chao arrives at the party and brings his son with him. Chao takes the microphone from her and says to everyone present that the viral video. This has no meaning to him because he doesn't want Qin to be his lover, but rather wants her to be his wife. Suddenly, Chao takes out the wedding ring and he put it on Qin when she returns her home. She remembers the time of the party when she asked why he proposed to her in front of people. He told her that he did this to annoy Zhou, and his fiancée Qin liked the idea and thanked him. After that, Qin goes to take a shower and accidentally drops the ring from her hand in the bathroom. And her friend Yang Ruo is looking for the ring in everywhere, but they can't find it. And the problem is that this ring is very expensive and it's impossible for her to pay for it. The next day, Yang Ruo goes to wake up Qin from her sleep and tells her that all the social media talks about her and Chao. She is very surprised because she didn't think the matter would get big like this. And when she arrives to carry it to the hospital, she finds Chao writing her name on the front of the hospital in big letters. She takes him to the side and keeps yelling at him and makes him understand that what he is doing is wrong. because the marriage proposal is originally a fake proposal. But Chow tells her that he really wants to marry her. Chin is confused and tells him that if he is the last man in the world, they wouldn't get married at night. Yang Ruo and Wen sitting in a bar and no one of them know each other. Yang Ruo notices that he is flirting with the girls, but there is no one of them wants to talk to him. Yang Ruo goes to stand with him and Wen tries to get close to her, but she rejects him and tells him that it is very difficult for her to get in relationship with anyone. So Wen tells her that he invites her to a drink, that 1 cup of this drink will make her extremely drunk. But what happens is that Wen is the one who gets drunk and Yang Ruo takes him home. Chin in the morning is walking alone in the street and by chance she sees a cat on top of a tree. So she climbs up the tree to get it and by mistake she is about to fall. But suddenly a man appears from behind her and grabs her and she sees him. She is very happy because this is her friend, the nerve doctor Ning. And Ning notices that her bracelet fell from her hand. And as soon as the bracelet falls, Chow gets alarm about his bracelet. So he quickly uses the tracking device in the bracelet and moves to her place. Chow sees her standing with Ning. So he pulls Chow towards him and says to Ning that this girl will be his fiancée, and very soon they will get married the next day. Chin arrives at the hospital and finds that they removed her name from the logo of the hospital. And also she finds Chow yelling at the nurses who are talking about her. Chin is happy and really feels that Chow is a good person. And when she returns home, she finds her mother and father visit her and they keep blaming her that she will get married without telling them. So she tells them that what happened was just a show to annoy her ex-boyfriend and assure them that she won't get married or anything. Her mom and dad get frustrated because they wanted her to marry a rich businessman and they stay with her for a few days because they miss her a lot. Chow arrives at the hospital to visit Chin and by chance sees Ning entering the hospital. So he gets very angry and goes after him and asks, "What is he doing here?" Ning tells him that he brought Chin's cat that she found on top of the tree to give it to her. And when Chin arrives, she welcomes Ning, but she ignores Chow. Chin offers Ning that they go have dinner together. So Ning agrees and offers to Chow that he come with them. But Chin interrupted him and tells him that Chow doesn't love popular places tonight. Ning and Chin having dinner together, and Chow is sitting at the table behind them, but he is hiding so that no one sees him. Ning asks Chin about the news that was spreading about her and Chow. She tells him that Chow deleted all the news and tells him that he is a really good person, contrary to what she expected. At this time, the restaurant manager announces a surprise on the occasion of the anniversary of the restaurant's opening, which is that they will play music in the restaurant and every girl and boy must hug each other before the music ends. Whoever succeeds in this challenge will get a 50% discount. So Ning stands to hug Chin. Chow quickly comes out and runs to him to stop him. Suddenly, they bump into each other. The restaurant manager thinks that they hugged each other and they won the competition. Chin asks Chow, "What is he doing her?" So he tells her that he is coming to have dinner. After a while, Chow takes out all his anger in the training and keeps thinking about how Chin treated Ning. After he finishes training, he takes his son to the cafe and asks him to wait for him here until he finishes the meeting and returns to him. At that time, Chin's mother is sitting in the same cafe. As soon as Chow leaves, she goes to sit with Xiao Bao and asks about his name. So he shows her the card. It says that he doesn't speak, so she asks about his mother. So he shows her a picture of Chin. When Chin returns home, she finds her mother and father very angry, and her mother tells her she went to meet Xiao Bao and told her that Chin will be his mother. She tells her that she knows that the child is attached to her and considers like his mother, but she is afraid for her to marry a man who has children because this will be a big responsibility for her. And she tells her that she wants to meet Chow by herself to see if he is suitable for her or not. At night, Chow returns home and his son asks him, "When will Chin come to live with them?" He replied him that their plan will be postponed for 2 weeks. Chin's mother notices that her daughter is sending messages. She thoughts that she is sending messages to Chow. So she waits for her daughter until she enters the bathroom and grabs her phone to send a message to Chow, tells him that she is Chin's mother and wants to meet him. And he agrees with her on the time and place of the meeting. Chin was planning Win Yang Ruo, her friend that cheated her, as Chow. So when her mother will send massage to Yang Ruo, instead of Chow, Chin returns back from bathroom, she finds her mother sends to Chow. She thoughts it's Yang Ruo, and their plan completed. Her mother asked her to book a train for her at what time so that her mother and her father can return to their village after the visit. After Chin books the train tickets, she returns with her mother and her father to the house, and when she opens her mobile, she finds that her mother contacted Chow from his real number, not as she had planned with Yang. And suddenly Chow arrives at Win's house. He enters and meets his mother and father. They welcome him and her father tell him that they need to know everything about him to reassure their daughter and ask about his wife. Liao said that Xiao Bao is his nephew, but he has not talked about this to anyone before, and all the people think that he is his son. But he decided to raise him after the death of his mother and began to consider him exactly like his son. They all empathized with, he said. After that, they all have dinner together, and Chow is happy with this family gathering because it has been a long time since he sat down to eat with his family. After dinner, Chow asks Chin's mother and father for permission to let him spend the night with them today, and he sent his assistant to Xiaobao to take care of him. They agree. Let him spend the night with them, but Chin is shocked that he wants to spend the night in her room. So she prepared the room for him, and when she tried to go out, Chow holds her hands and asks her to sleep next to him and tells her that she was lucky to have her family because he hasn't felt this family warmth for a long time, and he keeps accusing himself of being a bad father to Xiaobao. Chen tells him not to say this because he is an ideal and very kind father, and suddenly a call comes to Qiao, and he knows that his son has caught a cold and went to the hospital. So Chin and Qiao quickly move there, and as soon as they arrive, they find him sleeping on the bed and his condition is stable, but he needs to stay in the hospital for a few days until he gets better completely. And Chow knows from his assistants that his son doesn't want to take his medicine. So he gives him the medicine, but his son refuses to take it. Chin tries to take him the medicine bottle from and keeps playing with him until he takes the medicine. After a few hours, Chin is still sitting with Xiaobao in the hospital. Chow arrives at them after his meeting ends. She keeps blaming him for leaving his son alone. He tells her that he had an important meeting and couldn't miss it. She asked him, who sits with Xiaobao when he is at work? He tells her that he sits alone at home, but after that, he tries to take him out of the meetings and his work. Chow confesses to her that she is the only one who is able to communicate with Xiaobao because he is afraid of all people. He offers to take Chin to her house because it is late, but Xiaobao holds her hand, asked her, don't walk. It's not okay. She told him she won't walk and she'll stay with him today. Suddenly, Xiaobao speaks for the first time and calls Mama. Chin and Chow can't believe themselves from joy. The next morning, Chin wakes up. She remembers when Xiaobao called her Mama. She blamed herself for getting into a big responsibility. When she leaves the room, she found Chow in front her face and asks her where she is going. She tells him that she's going back home. He tells her that she promised Xiaobao that she won't leave him ever and asked him to consider her like his mother. So she's supposed to come live with them in the house? So Chin tells him that she was saying this to calm down Xiaobao, but she doesn't do this. Chow tells her that his son spoke yesterday for the first time from 5 years, and if she left him now, he might relapse, and if she wanted to withdraw from this responsibility, so she should go and tell him herself. So she's terrified by his words and walks quickly. Then Chin goes to meet Yang and tells her that she, in big trouble because of Xiaobao, she doesn't want to bear his responsibility. And at the same time, she won't be able to break his heart and tell him that she's not his true mother, and tells her that she is very sorry to Chow, because he doesn't know how to deal with him alone. So your friend tells her that her sympathy for Chow indicates her love for him. So Chin tells her that if Chow, the last man in the world, it's impossible for her to love him. By chance, Chow is with his son in the hospital, and as soon as Xiaobao sees Chin, he runs to her and calls for Mama. So she tries to calm him down, but she doesn't know, and asks Chow what happened. To come back to the hospital after Xiaobao got better, so he tells her that Xiaobao needs to do a comprehensive checkup, in addition to the fact that he misses her and wants to see her, and tells her that he prepared breakfast for her himself. She tells him that her reputation has become very bad in the hospital because of the rumors that have spread about them, and when people hear Xiaobao calling her Mama, the matter will get more serious. Qiao tells her that the matter is no longer just rumors because she is actually Xiaobao's mother, and when she looks at Xiaobao, she can't break his heart and says that she is not his mother. So she tells him that she will finish her work and come to have breakfast with him. Then the manger told her to do the comprehensive examination of Xiaobao by herself. So she immediately understands that Qiao is the one who did this and asks why he did this. So he tells her because he trusts her, and also he will leave his son with her all day in the hospital until he returns from his work. She takes Xiaobao to the room, sits with him, and after that, Xiaobao sleeping in the hospital. And when he wakes up, he does not find Chin next to him. So he takes his blackboard and keeps looking for it everywhere until he meets a child in his age and tries to take the blackboard from him. But Xiaobao drops it on the ground by mistake. So the mother of the child shouts at Xiaobao and told him that his mother did not know how to raise him well. At this moment, Chin reaches them and tells the child's mother that she is Xiaobao's mother and keeps yelling at her because she insulted him and accused him of not being well-mannered. After that, Chin picks up Xiao and returns to the room. Xiao writes on the board that he was afraid when he found her walking. So Chin apologized him and tells him that she will not walk again. Xiao asked her if she will stay with him all the time. Chin tells him that she will always be by his side when he needs her, and at the same time Yang works in the same hospital of Chin, but in an administrative position, and she hears the doctors bullying her friend Chin. She is yelling at them and warning them not to talk about Chin again. Qiao finished his work and came back to the hospital. He found Chin was sleeping next to his son, so he closed her to cover her. But suddenly she wakes up and quickly leaves the room. Then Chin finds out that the hospital manager fired Yang because of what she did, so she apologized her because she was fired because of her. But Yang tells her that she is not upset with her, and she is sure that she will find a better job opportunity. In another place after that, Yang and Chin was sitting together in a cafe, and suddenly Yang gets a message on her phone from a big company, and it is wanting to do an interview with her. So she went to the interview, and she was interesting and asks the owner of the company who. He gave him her number, so she tells her that Chow is the one who did that. At night, Yang tells Chin what happened, and she tells her that she is lucky to have in her life, because he makes things a lot easier for her. Chin goes to meet Chow to thank him for what he did with her friend, but he tells her that Xiaobao is lost and doesn't know he finds him and looks for him everywhere, but they don't find him. So Chin guesses that he went to her house, and indeed when they arrive home, they find him sitting in front of the apartment door. So his father keeps yelling at him, but Chin hugs him and makes him understand that his father doesn't yell at him or anything, but he is worried about him, nothing more, and asks Chow to stop yelling because his son is scared. Then the three of them enter the house, and Chin goes to prepare lunch for them. But Chow underestimates her abilities and tells her that she definitely doesn't know how to cook good food. Chin challenges him to both cook the same meal, and Xiaobao is the one who judges between them. And when he tastes Xiaobao from the two dishes, he likes Chin's dish more than the one of Chow. Chow gets very upset because he made the right ingredients. He asks what's different about her dish, so she tells him that she cooked the food with sincere feelings of love. And that's why the food came out delicious. And that's in addition to the fact that she knows the spices that children don't like. And she didn't put them in the food, opposite him, because he only cares about the meal coming out right, and that's it. At night, Chin goes down to take them to his car so that they can go back home, and Chin offers to take him to his Fati house to make sure that Xiaobao is okay. So, Xiaobao agrees, and Xiaobao gets in the car. Chow knows that she lost his ring, so she tells him, how can he knew? He tells her that he knew when she asked him about the price of the ring, and he takes out 2 contracts from him and asks her to sign the contract from them. She reads the terms of the contract, and he has a choice between 2 things. The first is that she pays for the ring, which costs 3 million, and the second is that she goes live with him in his house and pretends to be his wife, until Shop's condition improves. So Chin decides that she signed the contract and agrees to live in his house and pretend to be his wife. Chin asked him, when will the contract be canceled? He tells her that if one of them dies or one of them finds his life partner, then she goes back to her apartment and tells Yang what happened and tells her that she will have to cancel the lease of the house and will hit Yang to move to another apartment because they both live together in the same house. Chin keeps telling her about all the beautiful memories they lived together and thanks her for being in her life because she was standing by her side in all the crises she went through. The next day, Wen arriving to his father's company late, and his father is very angry because he is late for the meeting, and Yang entered the meeting, so the company president tells them that she will be his new secretary. And as soon as Wen sees her, they are surprised at the same time in the hospital. Chin tells her boss at work that she will leave work for a year because she needs to take care of Shabao's condition and be by his side all the time. So her boss tells her that she, hardworking doctor, and he supports her decision. Then she returns home and was very tired. Ning arrives. But the apartment is very messy, so he asks her what happened. So she tells him that she will move to Chow's house and will live with him for a year, and tells him about the contract between them. So Ning keeps scolding her because she didn't ask him for help before she made this decision. So Chin tells him that the ring is very expensive, and it's impossible for him to be able to pay for it. Asks him not to worry about her because she will be able to take care of herself. And then Chin meets with Yang to have their last drink in their house, and suddenly Chow's assistant arrives and she realizes that Chow bought this house so that Yang can continue to live in it and doesn't have to look for another house. So Chin went to meet him and asks him why he did this. So he tells her because the ring that she lost is sure there in this house. He can't stand the idea of a new resident living in the house, and when he finds the ring, he steals it because this ring belonged to his grandmother. On the same day, Chin arrives at Chow's house and is amazed by the size and beauty of the house. Chow tells her that he made a separate bed for her in his room because if they didn't sleep in the same room, Xiaobao might feel that they are being deceived. Then Chin starts acting in front of Xiaobao that they are married, so Chow tells her that she kidnapped him, not hugged him. She tells him that she is nervous about the situation. At night, she asks him to carry her in front of Xiaobao, and Chow actually carry her, but he carries her in a wrong way. She feels that he will break her ribs. So he carries her in a romance way, and the both get shy. He quickly goes down. Chow keeps yelling at Chin because she ruined his bathroom system and tells her that he loves everything in its place and hates anyone touching his things. So she apologized to him and starts organizing things. Then Chin goes to prepare breakfast for herself, and Xiaobao sees it and is surprised by its smell. because this food has never entered his house before. So Xiaobao tells him that she is cooking noodles and offers to eat with her. So Xiaobao likes the idea, and they keep eating together because Chao forbade this food from entering the house because he believes that it is harmful to health. And then Chao asks Qin to take his son on a tour of the museum. Xiaobao doesn't want to go to the museum because he's bored of it, so Qin takes him from behind his father to the park to live a new experience. But the problem is that it's raining on them. So Qin quickly picks Xiaobao up and runs with him, and suddenly finds Qin behind them under the umbrella. And when they return home, Chao stays shouting at both of them because they lied to him and also tells them that he discovered that they deceived him and ate noodles. So he orders them to bring all the sweets and chips they have and go sit in the room alone. Think about their mistake. Qin and Xiaobao do that, and they are very upset because he punished them for something that doesn't deserve it. So she says to take Xiaobao. They have to punish his father, so he goes to draw on his father's face while he is sleeping. Music. And as soon as Qin grabs the pen, she finds Chao awake from sleep, so she is terrified of him and runs. Qin takes Xiaobao to the college and tells him that her college is holding an activity for mothers and children. He will find many children in his age to play with and reassures that she won't force him. And if he feels that he is not comfortable, he can go back home at any time. And by chance, Qin meets Ning, so she sits at him and asks what he is doing here. He tells her that he came to finish some of paper in college. Qin sits and talks to Ning about Xiaobao's condition and tells him that he suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and is afraid of touching and dealing with strange people. She is very sorry for him because he does not go to school. So Ning tells her to a school. This school is for children with special needs and that they will be able to deal with Xiaobao's condition. When she returns home, she tells Chao about the school and tells him that all the teachers there study child psychology and that they will be able to deal with his son's condition. She asks Xiaobao to show his father a picture of the school, but Xiaobao shows him a picture of Qin sitting with Ning. Chao gets angry because she is sitting in a public place with a man, even though everyone knows that she is married, and he tells her that he is not confident in this school. So Qin asks. Xiaobao goes to his room and tells Chao that his treatment of his son is wrong, because he needs to integrate with people to recover. So he tells her that he does not think that integrating with people at this time will benefit him. Qin replied to him that she is the doctor, not him, and she is the one who understands his son's condition more than him. He tells her that he is his father and he is the one responsible to make the decisions that's suitable for his son. She tells him that she will not be able to work with him again and asks him to cancel the relationship between them. Chao asks her to go and calm down in her room until he sees what he will do, but Qin goes to prepare her bag and tells him that she is going. She calms down in her old house, so he tells her she will object for 7 days, but she has to come back again, so Qin can't stand his arrogance. And she leaves and walks. When she returns to her house, Xiaobao calls her video calls and he is very upset that she left. So Qin tells him that she will stay with him on video calls until he falls asleep. And one day at the company, Wen offers Yang that they have dinner with each other because he wants to get to know her more. But Yang refuses and tells him that she doesn't accept having dinner with anyone. Xiaobao runs away from home and goes to Qin's house. She's surprised when she sees him, so she entered him in her house. And then she sends a message to Chao, tells him that her son is with her and asks him to come and get him. When Chao arrives at her house, he brings the contract with him and tells her that if she thinks of canceling the contract between them, she must pay the fine to the ring. Qin asks him to fire her and find another doctor, but she no longer wants to work with him. But he refuses and asks his son to go with him to the house. But the boy hugs Qin and refuses to let her. Qin asks him to leave his son with her at home, so he agrees. The next day, she returns to work at the hospital. After that, Qin holds a psychological session for a child and notices that the boy's mother is trying to make her son hates his father. So Qin holds a meeting with the medical staff and the manager, tells them that the mother of child suffers from a psychological disorder because of her husband, and she thinks that she deserves to undergo psychological treatment, because this will improve her son's condition. The fiancé of Zhou meets the child's mother, tells her that Dr. Qin thinks that she's crazy and needs to undergo psychological treatment because she is destroying her son's psyche. So she asks to meet Qin and keeps yelling at her about what she said about her. So Qin tells her that she didn't say this, but she means that she needs to go to psychological treatment because she knows that she is suffering from a severe shock. And this is after her husband abandoned her, so she gets angry and tells her that she is not crazy to undergo treatment. And she throws her off the stairs. And at that moment, Chao comes and tries to save her, but he doesn't know how. And she falls from the stairs, so he quickly takes her to the emergency room, and there, the doctor tells her that she has a sprained leg and needs to rest for 2 weeks at least in bed until she gets better. And Chao is upset by Zhou's presence and tells him that he wants another doctor. She tells him that Zhuo is one of the best orthopedic doctors in the hospital. Zhou tells her that she will need to use a crutch, but suddenly Chao appears and tells them that there is no need for the crutch. He carries Qin and walks with her in the middle of the hospital. After then, Qin arrives at the hospital. She finds Child's mother gathering the press and journalists to defame her. So Ning quickly takes Qi and they go back home. Then they open the news and find Child's mother accuses Qin of being a failed doctor because she treated her son for 6 months, but his condition did not improve. When Qin finds out what happened to her, he goes to hold a meeting with Zhou and his fiancée, and tells his fiancée that he can spend her time because she is the cause of the problem, and all happened to his wife. He asks her to resign, or he will be fired from the hospital himself. Zhou intervenes in the conversation and tells him that he has no right to fire his fiancée from the hospital. So he tells them that he will take revenge on them in his own way. Then Chao goes to visit Qin in her house. And as usual, he does not like the order in her house, and tells her that the atmosphere in her house is unhealthy regarding her condition, and asks her to come back to live in his house, but she refuses. So Chao tells her that his son needs her, and if she gets injured while she is in her house, he will have to take care of her. So she decides to agree to live in his house. And the next day, she wakes up in Chao's house and tries to bring her clothes with a crutch to change her clothes, but she does not know. And suddenly he hears a sound of crashing. He enters on her and finds her changing her clothes, so he quickly turns his face and asks if she needs help changing her clothes. Qin pushes him and asks him to go outside. Qin, Chao, and Xiaobao go to buy some things from the supermarket, and she buys some snacks for Xiaobao, and of course Chao objects. Qin tells him that children love these things and reassures him that he won't eat them every day. At night, Qin enters Chao's office to bring something from there, and by chance she sees many pictures of the girl is standing with her back, but she can't determine the girl's features. And then Xiao Bao calls her, so they sit and draw together. Chao enters to them, and his son draws on the splint of Qin's leg. He sit and draw on her splint also, and the three of them are having fun. At night, Chao notices that Qin is putting powder on her hair, so he asked her. She replied that her hair has become greasy because she is unable to wash it because she is injured. So he puts her on her wheelchair and starts to wash her hair himself. Then Chao returns to his office and sees pictures of the girl standing with her back. And these pictures make him go back in his memory, and he remembers the time of the accident when he saw a girl from her back, but he could not determine her features. After that, Chao's lawyer arrives to Qin and tells her that they filed a lawsuit against Child's mother because she pushed her down the stairs and caused her injury and defamed her. But Qin refuses to let Chao control her. So she goes to his workplace and asks why he filed a lawsuit against Child's mother. He tells her that she made a mistake and must be held accountable for her actions. Then we see Chao going down to the swimming pool, and Qin keeps taking pictures of him in a swimsuit. She tells him that if he doesn't drop the case, these pictures will be published everywhere on social media. So that, Chao meets Child's mother and tells her that he dropped the case and told her that Qin is the one who asked him to do this because she doesn't want her to be humiliated. Then Chao returns to the house, and he tells her that he gave up, and by chance Qin sees a picture of Chao with a girl. So she guesses that the girl is his old girlfriend. And then Qin knocks on the bathroom door because Chao was late inside. When she enters, she finds that he looks very tired and notices that he is wearing light clothes. So she gets up from her wheelchair. She turns her face and Chao sits in her place on the chair. He pulls her towards him, and when she measures his temperature, finds it very high. So she sits him on the bed and measures his temperature and finds it 38. So she tells him that his temperature is not very high and the matter does not call for all this worry. So he tells her nervously that the temperature of a normal human does not exceed 37 degrees, and his high temperature may be a sign that he has a serious illness and needs to go to the hospital quickly. So she tells him that the matter does not deserve a hospital, and she starts making him sponging to break down his temperature, and she also makes him soup and keeps drinking it herself. And the next day, Wen brings Chao pictures of a girl with her back to him, so he tells him that this is not the girl he is looking for. So Wen tells him that he is very surprised, asks him how his first love is for a girl whose face he has never seen before. And the next day, Yang enters Wen's room and she wakes up him so that he does not get late for the meeting. And we know that the company president is the one who asked Yang to be his son's new assistant because he noticed that he listens to her in everything, and that is different. He wants her to keep him away from the girls he knows at night. Yang goes to the nightclub where Wen stays up late and finds him sitting with girls, so she let them go. When Qin in her room, she sent a voice message to Yang, telling her about the girl she saw in the picture with Chao, and asked her to try to find out who this girl is. But she accidentally sent the message to Chao. He comes to the room and finds her pretending to be sleeping, so he asks her if she wants to know who the girl was pictured with him. Qin told that curiosity is killing her. So he told her that she is a smart doctor and can look into the matter herself until she discovers on her own who this girl is and leaves. Then Chow goes to sit on the laptop and he keeps looking at pictures of Chin with Ning, and he is very jealous of her. Chow changes the apartment's decorations and puts the decorations that his son likes. And also he removes his paintings and puts his son's paintings. When Chin and Xiaobao come back from outside, they are very happy with the new house. And also, Chow bought them small table for them to sit on, the three of them, at mealtime because he heard that small tables bring the family closer than each other. At night, Yang goes to meet Wen at a restaurant because he told her that he wants her for an important matter. And Yang notices that someone is taking pictures of them. So she tells Wen that she understood his game and knows that these pictures will be sent to his father so that he understands that she is trying to seduce his son. And thus, he will be expelled from the company, and Wen is very embarrassed and his plan is ruined. Chin and Xiaobao went to meet Ning in the stadium to play football together, and suddenly Chow arrives and insists that he play a match with Ning, and if Ning wins, then he agrees to his son go to this private school for children with special needs. And indeed, they start to play, and Ning wins. And Chin is very happy that Xiaobao will go to school. The next day, Chin starts to prepare Xiaobao's tools that he will take with him to school. And Chow enters and tells them that he made a bag especially for his son to use in times of emergency. And he presses a certain button in the bag. A very loud sound is made, and he asks his son to press the button if he feels danger. So Chin takes him to the side and tells him that there is no need for what he is doing, because his son will go learn, not fight. Chin and Xiao take Xiaobao to school, and at first he is afraid to go in alone. But Chin gives him her handkerchief and tells him that this handkerchief will keep him safe. After that, Chin was happy because Ninja came to attend with them on the first day of school, and they continue to watch Xiaobao while he is in the classroom. And Chin notices that he is holding the handkerchief and is not merging with the rest of his classmates. And Chin is very worried about him, but Ning reassures him that he will be fine. After the school day ends, they all return home, and Chin prepares lunch with Chow, and suddenly enters Chow's uncle, whose name is Jia Chin, and they are surprised by her presence. And Chow introduces Chin and tells her that she is his wife, and that they are recently married. At night, they all sit down to have dinner together, and Chin invites Jia Chin to eat, but she refuses to take the food from her hand and leaves dinner. And she goes to get in the car with her assistant. She tells him that Chow's marriage is fake, and that Chin is staying with them at home just to treat his condition. But she notices that Chow loves Chin and is very attached to her, but she gets angry because Chow has to marry a girl named Lin. Chow tells Chin that his company is going to hold a party on the occasion of the anniversary of the opening. The company. He tells her that he needs her to come with him, but she tells him that she doesn't want to go. So he asks her about the reason. She tells him is because she will have to wear high heels and a tight dress, and people will keep talking about her throughout the party, and she doesn't like this atmosphere. So he tells her that she definitely doesn't want to go with him because she doesn't know how to dance. She tells him that she knows how to dance, and she starts dancing in front of him, but she accidentally trips. So Chow keeps laughing and making fun of her. She tells him that she goes with him to the party to make sure that she knows how to dance. In the morning, Chin's surprised when she finds Chow bringing her an etiquette trainer, a fitness trainer, and a head trainer to train them before the party. At night, he returns home and finds Chin very tired from all the training she did. He prepares dinner and says that he brought her salad and milk. So Chin tells him that she has to eat meat every day to be full. He tells her that she has to go on a diet until the day of Artie, so that the dress can be fit on her. And the next day, Chow knows that the driver who was driving his brother and his brother's wife in the accident appeared after the disappearance 4 years ago. And this driver was the reason for the death of his brother and his brother's wife. So Chow quickly goes out to meet him. And then Chin enters to his office and sends a message to Yang that they can have lunch together. Yang asks her to come to her company, and the maid enters to clean the office. And by chance, she sees a picture of the driver, so she says that Chow has been looking for this driver for 4 years. And at the same time, we see Chow on his way to meet the driver, but he gets a call from her aunt that he ran away, and in the meantime, Chin arrives at the company and sends a message to her friend and asks where she is. Yang asks her to wait for her next to the elevator until she finishes her work and comes to her. By chance, she finds Chow there. So she wants to hide from him, but unfortunately, he sees her and stops her and Wen in front of him. And Wen doesn't understand why he is being punished in the first place, and keeps Chow scolds Chin because she is supposed to be training at the time. So she tells him that she came to meet Yang to training her on the dance because she dances very beautifully. And suddenly Yang enters on them and says in a loud voice to Chin that she is ready to have lunch. So Wen quickly takes Yang, they go out, and Chow is shocked because Chin broke his word and didn't stick to the diet. So she tells Chow that she misses regular food and she will train more if he allows her to eat the meal that she wants. But he still refuses and leaves. Then Wen goes to sit with Chin. and tells her that Chow is upset today because the driver ran away from him. So Chin tells him that she doesn't understand what he is talking about. So he tells her what happened 5 years ago and tells her that his brother's wife, and Xiao Bao were riding the car with the driver to celebrate their son's birthday. But suddenly the driver did an accident to him, and unfortunately his brother's wife died. And Xiao Bao is the only one who survived, and it is sure that this accident was planned, and that's why he wanted to reach the driver. So Chin asked where Chow at that time, so he told her that when he heard the news, he got in his car and went to the hospital. But he had an accident and fell into a coma for a month and a half. And when he woke up, he was in a state of severe shock. This is also because he is the new CEO of the company. So he had to not show his sadness and hold himself together so that the companies don't declare bankruptcy. And that's why Chow, most of the time, he appears to be cold and cruel, but in the truth, he is very kind. But circumstances forced him to do this. Chin gets affected when she hears the story and goes to have dinner with her friends and keeps thinking about what happened to Chow. She doesn't want to eat a lot, and when she returns home, she shows Chow the place she hides her secret snacks, and that she tells him she won't get close to these snacks until the party day, but he tells her that he won't let her do anything she satisfies her. The following day, he's surprised when he finds that she doesn't know how to dance. So he holds her hands and teaches the steps of the head right. After they finish, Chow asks her about the type of the dance she likes. So Chin plays a song and she keeps dancing spontaneously, and Chow keeps watching her with happiness. After a few days, Chin arrives with Chow and Xiao Bao to the party, and Chin is wearing a dress beautiful and attracts everyone's attention. Then Chow takes Chin to his aunt, and then they both start dancing together in a romantic way. And Xiao Bao is happy while he's seeing them merge together. And after they finish dancing, he takes off the high heels that she is wearing and wears comfortable shoes, and tells her that he prepared for her a surprise and plays her the song that she loves. And Chin continues to dance to it spontaneously, and Chow also dances with her, and does not care about teaching the etiquette that his aunt imposed on him. And at that moment, Lin arrives at the party, and his aunt asks him to say hello to Lin, and Chin understands from what she sees in front of her that his aunt wants to marry Chow to Lin. So she tells Wen that she will wait for you against her. She stumbles and falls on the ground. And after the party, Chow's aunt tells him that his wife embarrassed them in the middle of the guests when she fell on the ground. And she tells him that it is obvious that she is a vulgar girl and does not understand etiquette. So he defends Chin and tells his aunt that everyone falls normally, and this does not mean that they are vulgar. Then his aunt tells him that she knows that he is still looking into the matter of the accident that happened 5 years ago, and asks him not to tire himself and stop looking into it because the matter has been long over. When Chin comes back home, she is very jealous of Chow, and suddenly she finds him entering and putting ice on her feet. Then he leaves her and walks away, but he finds Chin calling him and asking if he sees Lin beautiful, so he tells her that she is beautiful and smart. And this in addition, they have known each other since they were young because there are common business between the two families. Then he asks. She closes it because he wants to sleep. The following day, Chin knows from one of her friends that all the news is talking about his party yesterday, and they say that Lin is much prettier than Chin, and she deserves to be Chow's wife. And also, they accuse Chin that she is Chow's lover, but Chin doesn't care about these rumors and tells her friend that she goes to get Xiao Bao from school before he reads the news that is spreading about her and his father. And at night, Yang's sitting alone in the company, and suddenly she hears terrifying sounds. So she immediately understands that Wen is trying to scare her. So she went to bathroom, and there, she found a man disguised as a ghost trying to scare her, and suddenly Wen hears a screaming sound coming from the bathroom. So he expects that his plan has succeeded, and he goes to see what's wrong. But he finds Yang is the one running after people dressed as ghosts and scaring the next day. Chow goes to meet his aunt and asks her, why is she rumors spread about him and his wife? So she tells him that Chin is not suitable for him and that he deserves a better girl than her who is on the same social level. So Chow tells her that he loves his wife and will not marry anyone else. When he returns Chow home, he apologizes to Chin and tries to give her 100,000 on her account as compensation for the psychological damage she suffered. After that, Chin, Xian, and Xiao Bao decide that they go out in the town down so that the people and the press all know that they are a happy family and the rumors will not affect them. Chow finds out that there is a new marketing expert who will work with him in the company, and he realizes that she is Lin. So he asked her, what is she doing here? So she tells him that she is the new marketing expert and that she is existing, here to promote the smart bracelet that his company invented. And it is the same bracelet that Chin is wearing. She starts telling him some information about the bracelet, and she tries to make modifications to it to improve his sales rate more. When Yang on her way to office, she found Xiao and Lin sit and work with each other. Then she asked his assistant and told her that Lin is the new marketing expert, and she will be responsible for promoting the company's products in the European and American markets. After that, Yang goes to meet Qin and tells her that Lin has started working with Chow and asks her to be careful because Lin will definitely try to kidnap him from her, so she leaves her angry and puts up a picture of Chow on the pillow and keeps cursing and hitting him. It is really clear that she loves him and is jealous of him. After that, Qin goes to ask Xiao Bao where he wants to go on the weekend, so he tells her that he wants to go to his father's company. And indeed, on the weekend, Qin arrives with Xiao Bao to the company, and Xiao's surprised from their presence and asks what they are doing here. Qin tells him that his son wants to visit him, and she also tells him that she prepared for him tuna sandwiches that he loves. And at that time, Lin enters their office and brings lunch for Qin and asks him not to eat from tuna sandwiches because the client he is going to meet disgusted by its smell. So she felt embarrassed and takes Xiao Bao to sit outside. Then Qin asks Xiao that he is not moves from his place until she goes to the bathroom. But Xiao Bao feels that Lin is trying to seduce his father, so he goes to his father's office again and puts the toy insect shaped in her drink. And as soon as Lin sees it, she gets very scared and drops the drink on her. Chow keeps yelling at his son for what he did, and Qin reaches to them, asks Chow to be merciful with his son because he is just a child. He tells him that she is the one who spoiled him and ruined his morals, and she doesn't know anything about raising children. So she tells him angrily that his son missed him and that he came to visit him at the company, but he broke his heart and she leaves. She takes some food and goes to her parents' house, and her mother understood right away that she is angry from her husband, and she is waiting for him to come and reconcile with her. So she asked her daughter not to worry because he will definitely reconcile today. At the same time, Ning and Lin meet by chance in the street, and we know that they met again when Ning was bringing her psychiatric medications. Lin asks him to this matter be a secret between them because she does not want people to know that she suffers from a mental illness when Chow returns home. He finds that Qin took his son and went home to her family and sends to Qin her baggage. So Qin is very upset by his behavior because she thought that he would come and reconcile with her, but she finds that her father fainted. So she quickly transfers her father to the hospital and knows from the doctor that her father has an inflammation of the lining of the heart and he has a blockage in the arteries, and his condition is critical. He must have an operation as soon as possible. But the problem is that this operation has a high risk. But if he doesn't have the operation, he will still die. Qin's mother collapses from what she hears, and after a while, Yang arrives at them, and Qin tells Xiao Bao that Yang will return again to her father's house until her father has the operation and gets better. And when Xiao Bao arrives home, his father asked him what happened. Xiao wrote to him that Qin's father in the hospital and will have an operation. So Xiao quickly takes Xiao Bao and they go to the hospital. And as soon as Qin sees them, she collapses from crying. So he wipes her tears and reassures her that her father will be fine. And Xiao makes some calls. Then he tells Qin and her mother that he contacted the best medical team in China to supervise on the operation of Qin's father themselves and reassures that the operation will pass. On the good, she sits with Chow in front of her father's room, and Chow brings her food with him. She thanks him and asks him why he is helping her, so he tells her. Because she is his wife, she tells him that she heard that he and Lin were engaged a long time ago. Chow tells her that his family and Lin's family have been friends for a long time because of the interest between them, and because of they are the richest families in China, and they wanted him to marry to Lin, but he refused because he does not love her, and he is against the idea of marriage for interest. So Qin is happy after what she heard, and then Qin enters and sits with her father after he wakes up, and whoa. Her father asked her to bring him food because he himself eats from her hands before he enters the operation, and gives her his credit card and tells her that all the money she used to transfer to him every month was saving, and telling her that he saved her all his pension so that he could be reassured about her before he died. She upset a lot and asked him not to say this because she was sure that he would have the operation and he would be fine. Then he goes into the operating room, and we see that Qin and her mother are waiting in front of the operating room, and they are worried because he has been inside for 3 hours. And when Chow arrives with his son, he notices their pain, but he is reassured that he is in safe hands. After a while, Qin's father comes out from the operation, and the doctor reassures that the operation was successful and his condition is stable. Then Chow's aunt arrives to the hospital and keeps blaming Chow that he left his company and his work to went to the hospital. Chow tells her that he should have stood with his wife's father in this situation, so she goes to Qin's father's room and finds the whole family gathered and smiled at them. And she notices that Xiao Bao has become very attached to the family of Qin, and this matter bothers her. And then Chow asks for permission, goes to work. But after a few hours, Qin's mother calls him and asks him to come to the hospital. And when he arrives at the hospital, he asks Qin what happened. So she tells him that all her uncles and aunts and relatives came to the hospital to greet him. So Chow greets them, and all of them are amazed when they see him and start asking him strange requests, like him helping them to find a job in his company, and also taking pictures with him. He was a famous person, and of course Chin is very embarrassed by her family's behavior and doesn't know how to silence them when Yang reaches the company that she works in. She found her brother there, so she takes him outside the company and asks what he returns again. He tells her that he needs to borrow money from her. Because he lost all his money in gambling, Yang yells at him and told him that she will not give him money. Again, she asks him to get out of her life because he is causing her embarrassment. At that time, Wen sees them, so he went to stand with Yang. He flirts with her, put his hand on Yang's shoulder and told that she is his lover, and asks her brother who he wants what from his lover, so he tells him that he will be his brother. Wen gets embarrassed and apologizes to her brother. Yang gets angry at them both and asks them to walk away from her. At night, when Yang returns home, she finds the ring by chance in the bathroom, so she gave it the day she meets Chin. Chin is very happy that Chow did not leave her alone to the house, and at night they sit. They all have dinner together, and suddenly Xiao Bao speaks again and calls Chin's father and mother by my grandfather and grandmother. They are all very happy with the development that happened, and Chow asks him to call him dad, but Xiao Bao refuses. So Chow gets disappointed, and then Lin called Chow in the mobile and tells him that there is a client named Jia who wants to hold a meeting with them at the hotel. So he gets out of it and sends him the address of the hotel, and then asks Chin's permission and leaves. Chin knows that he is going to meet Lin, so she quickly goes to Yang, tells her what happened, and asks her to put on makeup and dress her in the most beautiful dress she has, so that she can get them to the hotel. Yang does that, and when Chin arrives to the hotel and gets in the elevator, a man gets in with her, and this man is strange and tries to catch network in the elevator, but Chin thinks that he is a harasser and wants to take a picture of her, so she pulls his suit and tells him that she will take him to the police. As soon as she gets out of the elevator, she is surprised by Chow and Lin in front of her. They are shocked because she holds the agent Jia. So Chow asks her to leave him immediately because this is the agent who is coming to do the meeting with him. And if Chin is very embarrassed, and after the meeting, Lin goes to tell Chin that Jia refused to make a contract with Chow's company because of her, and she tells her that her husband was attending this meeting more than a month and a half ago. Chin tells her that she did not mean causing the problem. So Lin accuses her of being the cause of everything bad that happens to Chow, and tells her that she knows that their marriage is fake, and all what between them is just a contract. Asks her to stay away from Chow because she's not on the same social level as him, and always gets him into trouble. So Chin leaves the company and she's sad, and she finds Chow waiting for her, so she keeps apologizing to him a lot for what she did. So Chow tells her that he's not sad from her, and offers to take her home. But at that moment, Ning appears and asks Chin to come ride with him in the car so he can take her back home. Chin gets with him in the car, and in the middle of the way, she tells him that her nerves are tired and she needs to drink alcohol. So Ning takes her to the cafe and they sit together. Chin confesses to him that she loves Chow, Zrania, but she's not pretty enough or from same level so that he can look at her, and she caused many problems for him since she entered his life. So Ning comes out of it that she doesn't say the words. This is because she doesn't know how to value herself. And by chance, Wen is passing by the cafe and sees them sitting together. So he quickly calls Chow and tells him what happened within minutes. Chow arrives at the cafe and gets very upset when he finds her sitting with Ning. Wen takes Ning and they go out, and at that time, Chow offers to Chin that she come back to live with him in his house. And of course, Chin is happy and is still going to tell him that she loves him, but she finds Lin calling him, so she changes her mind and tells him that she wants to end the relationship between them. Chow is shocked and tells her that the contract period is not over yet. She tells him that Xiao Bao can now go to school alone and his language ability has improved a lot, and she no longer needs to stay living with him in his house, and tells him that she is not suitable for him because she has caused him many problems. After that, she leaves him and goes away. In the following day, Chow goes to visit Chin at her workplace and asks why she wants to end the contract. She tells him, because she wants to focus more on her career and future. He tells her that she has not fulfilled the terms of the contract completely because it is written in the contract that Xiao Bao must interact with people and have a social life. So Chin tells him that she will prove to him that his son has begun to interact with the people. She brings Xiao Bao to sit with his child who is the same age and asks him to hug her. Xiao Bao hugs her and also takes her by the hand so they can play together. She tells her that she will pass by him at another time because she tries to collect her clothes from home now. Chow said that Xiao is obsessed with her more than once so that she does not end the contract between them, but he fails to persuade her. And Chin comes out the ring that was lost and gives it to him and tells him that there is a school party at his son's school. In a few days, she will see Xiao for the last time before the party for training him for the show that he will present. After that, she leaves him and walks away. At night, Chao's aunt is sitting with her assistant and asks if he knows anything strange about Chin. He tells her that when she was in university, she wanted to specialize in surgery, but changes her mind and chooses psychology of children. Because a year ago, Chin saved a child who had an accident when Xiaobao was young and injured her hand. And since that time, she has been very attached to children. The next day, Chao goes to meet Jia and realizes that he has changed his mind and wants to contract with him. He asked why he changed his mind. He tells him that Chin met him and convinced him to change his mind. Chin went to Chao's house and she was training